Guess what? We got a free upgrade. I've got to tell you more about how I get these free upgrades, but look at what we have here. A lovely Mustang GT. I wasn't planning on doing a review on my rental car this time because I just don't know how much time I'm gonna have. But because I've got this, we're gonna see if we can make it work. Hey everybody, thank you for watching Road Trip Central. I just wanted to share some impressions with you of this rental Mustang GT that I have. I've rented a Mustang GT convertible before. Unfortunately, I didn't have any time to do a video on it during that trip, and the weather was just terrible. This trip is only a 3-day visit to the Arlington, Virginia area. The weather hasn't been too great, but this morning it's actually sunny. It's cold, but it's sunny, and the roads are finally drying out, so we get to check this out. So straight away, I would like to say that the Mustang GT is one of my favorite rental cars that I've ever had. Ever. And to be completely honest, I would say it's tied for first with the Camaro SS hardtop that I've had in the past. If this were a hardtop Mustang GT, this would take the cake. This would be my favorite rental car that I've ever had. But being a convertible and being equipped with the wheels that it has, I feel like they look like they came straight from a base model. I'm not sure why they're on a Mustang GT, because I feel like they look base model-esque. I just wish they had something that looked a little bit more premium. That's my opinion. Some of you may like it, but just not for me. In regards to performance, the Mustang GT does great. It has 455 horsepower, if I remember right, out of its 5-liter V8. And it delivers it very well. It sounds really good. It sounds aggressive. This is the type of exhaust note that I would expect to hear from a pony car or a muscle car. I know that sometimes they quiet them down, especially if it's a convertible, but I prefer this. I started it up and it just makes me smile. How could you not be satisfied with that? So I'm renting this car while I'm in Arlington, Virginia, doing a review on the new Cadillac CT6V, which is an excellent luxury performance sedan. It's got 550 horsepower, 640 pound-feet of torque. If you haven't already seen the video, go check it out now. But the reason I'm bringing it up is because that car has a 4.2-liter twin-turbo V8 with that much power, and it sounds great, especially when you have it in sport or track mode and the baffles and the exhaust are open. But each time I turn this car on, it kind of put the CT6V to shame as far as just how mean it sounds. I know there's a difference between the two cars, but I just think that it's cool that the Mustang GT sounds so good, stock, straight from the factory, even in the convertible form, it sounds great. Let's try to listen to some of this in the middle of traffic. Can you hear that? Can you hear that? Not even really on the throttle yet. Yeah. This is a mean car. I would rent one of these again. The new Mustang GT can come with the 10-speed automatic transmission, which, as you can imagine, is equipped in this rental car. It does shift quickly, but of course with the 10-speed transmission you're just always shifting gears. I'm not sure if I like that quite as much as I would, for example, a 7-speed or an 8-speed, where you can stay in a gear a little bit longer and listen to the engine go through its paces. But this dual overhead cam V8 red lines at what, 7,500 RPM it looks like? That revs pretty high. I mean, considering the GT350, which has a flat plane crank V8, revs not a whole lot higher than that. It's kind of impressive to be getting in a $35,000 car. I generally have to bring up some complaints about the cars that I'm driving. I gotta be honest with you guys, this isn't a perfect car. Aside from my personal preferences, like I don't like that it's a convertible. Aside from that, I have some functionality complaints with some of the switches and the buttons inside the cabin. There's some toggle switches, or at least they look like toggle switches, for the hazard lights, the traction control, the driving modes, down in front of the gear shifter. And just because of where they're placed, in order to press them, I want to push down on that switch. But you can't. It's not one of the switches that you can work both ways and then it goes back to neutral. I can't remember what those are called. But this one, in order for you to change any of these settings, you actually have to push up on the switch. And it's kind of unnatural for my hand, especially if the gear shifter's in park. That's probably one of my main complaints about the buttons and the user interface anywhere inside the car. I thought it was interesting that the speedometer says ground speed on it. I'm not sure how much they thought this was going to be airborne. Or maybe it has some form of reference to something else. I don't know if it refers to the, what is it, a P51 Mustang or what? And of course they had to make sure that your tachometer, it says specifically revolutions per minute instead of just saying RPM. Alright, here, let me try and show you guys something. Here's first gear. So in short, the 2019 Mustang GT, even the convertible, it's an excellent car, tied for first on my favorite rental cars that I've ever driven. Whether you like muscle cars or not, you gotta try them out. They're a blast to drive. Thank you guys so much for watching Road Trip Central. Watch our other stuff. We've got lots of videos coming out and lots of videos that are already out. Hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, visit our Patreon if you're interested in helping support the channel a little bit more. We'll see you guys next time.